Welcome back. A day after the BJP's a big victory in Haryana, the historic hat-trick as it is being called, and the big focus today on the show, the Prime Minister today, a day after that victory, hitting out at the Congress party over its divisive politics with a Hindu unity pitch. The Prime Minister slammed the Congress for dividing Hindus to make what he described as political gains.
Absolutely, and it was a busy day for the Prime Minister. He met the caretaker Chief Minister, endorsed him as the CM, and then he inaugurated these projects in poll-bound Maharashtra, where the BJP has faced the maximum setback in Lok Sabha elections of 2024. The Prime Minister said that the Congress party fights elections completely on communal and casteist lines. He said that the party has a strategy of dividing the Hindu society, and it has made this their winning formula, and that is the basis of Congress's politics.
That's right, and this comes even before Maharashtra elections are announced. The Prime Minister there hitting out at the Congress, in fact saying that the SC/STs did not fall for this Congress campaign and that they sided with the BJP in Haryana, and he said they also tried to scare the Muslims and try to get them onto their side. So that's the big discussion today on the show.
Absolutely. Let's go across to our panelists. Guru Prakash, spokesperson of the BJP, Tehseen Poonawalla, political analyst and Congress supporter. We also have Dr. Milind Awadh, who is Associate Professor JNU, and Ratan Sharda, author, RSS 360. Nirja Chaudhary also will join us, senior journalist. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us on this show. But going across to Mr. Awadh first. Milind sir, Maharashtra is very interesting. It's seen as the land where the RSS began. It's also the land of Baba Sahib Ambedkar and Jyotiba Phule and Shivaji. So clearly a politically potent state with politics of different kinds. How do you see the Prime Minister's renewed pitch for Hindu unity in the midst of the Congress party in some ways intensifying its caste outreach?
I think it's very interesting to see that how Honorable Prime Minister actually talked about the Hindu unity. And when it comes to social engineering of BJP, RSS, and BJP, RSS led various organizations, they actually go into various communities. They actually, work on the aspiration of specific communities, such as in Maharashtra. They have actually worked on the aspiration of artisan communities aspiration. They have actually worked on the various nomadic tribe, denotified tribes aspiration. Within scheduled caste, they have actually worked on the new Buddhist communities such as Mang within scheduled caste. So basically, among agrarian caste, they have actually worked on the various agrarian caste in Maharashtra. Same thing which they have done in Haryana. They have actually, we actually talk about pan-Dalit identity, but RSC BJP, RSS BJP led various organizations have actually worked on the with the Jatau community. Among scheduled castes, they have worked with the Valmiki communities. They have actually, carefully worked on the artisan and agrarian communities rift, and somehow they have able to create new social engineering through party ideology.
Right.
So the point which I'm trying to.
All right, interesting that we have Nirja Chaudhary also with us. Ma'am, your comments on what the Prime Minister said today, a day after the Congress's defeat in Haryana, the BJP's victory, the Prime Minister saying that the Congress is trying to divide people on caste lines, trying to scare them, using this as their political formula, and saying that this time the Dalits didn't fall for it, and they stayed with us. He also said that the Prime Minister that the Congress is trying to scare the Muslims as well. Just for their political gains. So your comments on this, so the Prime Minister essentially playing this unity card in the face of the Congress's caste card.
Look, the Prime Minister's unrelenting, without let, attack on the Congress since the Haryana results have come is very interesting. The Congress party has lost, is defeated, is downhearted. The BJP is upbeat. It's done a hat trick, third time in Haryana, another Hindi state where it's, entrenching itself after, of course, Gujarat is there and Madhya Pradesh is there. They've stopped the Congress making inroads into the Hindi heartland, further inroads. So a lot of things to be grateful about.
Right.
But the Prime Minister is really going hammer and tongs. And the only reason could be Maharashtra. Jharkhand, of course, but Maharashtra. Maharashtra's importance cannot be emphasized enough. The second largest state in the country with 48 Lok Sabha seats and the financial center of the country. And therefore, whoever wins Maharashtra gets a political momentum that is very critical at the moment and very critical for the BJP, which had not got a majority on its own in the Lok Sabha election. So, and Maharashtra is where the opposition did very well in the Lok Sabha election. They got 30 out of those 48 seats, and the Mahavikas Aghadi is well placed from all accounts, even as far as ground level sentiments go. And the BJP itself has been facing a lot of problems with its allies within the party. So the Prime Minister is clearly with attacking the Congress on caste lines, even on the Muslim factor,
So no letting up, really.
Muslims, Hindu unity. There are many, many notes that he's striking simultaneously, but clearly with an eye on the Maharashtra elections.
Okay, Guru Prakash, there was an interesting video that Rahul Gandhi put out a few days ago, on Dalit kitchens, and it was quite interesting because Mr. Patole also spoke about the kind of food that Dalits eat, and a lot of us don't really know anything about it, and it was a touching video, but clearly there is some discord between what Congress leadership says and what really happens with the party. Is the Prime Minister's renewed pitch on caste, strengthening Hindutva, or in fact the Hindu identity pitch, does that in some ways also take on Rahul Gandhi's assertion that Hindutva is at odds with caste outreach?
No, Vasudha, I think it's a very important point that you made about Mr. Rahul Gandhi reaching out to a Dalit family for his food tourism. But you know what? This Baba Saheb Ambedkar has said 100 years ago that our struggle is no longer about eating together. Our struggle is about witting together. Mr. Rahul Gandhi does not realize this. The struggle is not about Sah Bhoj. The struggle is not about Sah Snan. The struggle is about Bhagidari. The struggle is about representation. Mr. Rahul Gandhi is doing the same thing what Europeans used to do with the Africans. Mr. Rahul Gandhi has turned us Dalits into amusement park material. 100 years ago, 150 years ago, Europeans used to travel to Africa and they used to see African kids, bhookhe, nange Africans, and today Mr. Rahul Gandhi is doing the same thing. I'm sorry, but that particular act of Mr. Rahul Gandhi was insulting to the sentiments of Dalit community. As someone from the community, as someone who aspired to be a thought leader, as someone who aspired to be a vice chancellor, a professor, a political leader, I'm sorry, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. The struggle is no longer about eating together. The struggle is about respect. The struggle is about dignity. And that is what happened, Vasudha, in the state of Haryana. You see this news clip of this morning, state unit to blame, they did not let me campaign, Kumari Shailja. So you have to understand, there is a very beautiful quote by Professor Shivraj Singh Bechain, who is a professor of Hindi and eminent Dalit thinker from Delhi University. He has said, and I quote, that untouchability today is no longer physical. Aaj asprishyata physical nahi hai. Untouchability is about symbols. Untouchability is about gesture. So Mr. Rahul Gandhi, his entire political establishment, his entire political ecosystem was out there insulting out of fear of one Dalit woman, Kumari Shailja, and we have seen this happening. All the reserve seats, even you look at all the Jat dominant seats, Haryana has voted decisively against the divisive, against the negative politics of the Congress party. Since 2024, we saw Samvidhan, but the falsify,
to join so he can counter some of these points that you have been making. In fact, Tehseen Poonawalla is also ready with us. But before that, Ratan Sharda, I'd like to go to you. The Prime Minister also speaking about the Congress creating fear among the Muslims for their vote bank. So your comments on that, very strong criticism of the Congress party all around. Yes, about the Dalits as well, but also saying creating fear among the Muslims for their vote bank politics.
Well, what's wrong in what Modi just said? For example, this attack on BJP right from 2014, starting from church attacks, so-called church attacks, and before that, rape of nuns in Chabua put on the head of BJP VHP and RSS. After it was proven wrong, nobody even apologized. Starting from that, they have been continuously raising the hackles against Muslims, claiming they are persecuted, they are oppressed, they are frightened. But is it true? Is it not true that in the entire Indian subcontinent, except India, everywhere else, minority numbers are decreasing, minorities are being persecuted, raped, kidnapped, and being forced out of their own countries? But in India, they are thriving, their population is increasing, their per capita increasing, their share in the work is increasing. But yes, if there are Islamist jihadis who are out to create this kind of feeling, and what was CA basically? CA was basically frightening Muslims into claiming that they will lose their citizenship right, just like scheduled castes will lose their reservation right. So Rahul Gandhi's consistent and insistent divisive politics of claiming CA what it was not, reservation what it was not, throwing constitution out what it was not, having done all that, naturally Modi ji feels aggrieved and Modi ji will respond to that.
Right.
And unity is never a card, my dear friends. Unity is a commitment to India's commitment. Card are played by those who go by caste, who go by sect, and who go by, various divisive means. What is the Karnataka Congress talking of Voka Ligas as a separate religion? So these are the things which must be taken into account. And Modi ji is very right in speaking. Lastly, I had said in my article in Q24 that Congress has got maximum advantage of polarized Muslim votes, of scheduled caste, scheduled tribes being taken away from BJP. From where will it get more votes? There was nowhere to be taken.
Okay, that's
but
an important
BJP
point.
just by convincing the people,
the Prime Minister made an important point today.
Their votes
he
now
said
from
that the
from
Congress
BJP.
party is misleading the people of the country, especially Dalits, and clearly I think that he also referred to the constitution charge and the fact that the Congress has been alleging that the BJP is anti-constitution, anti-reservation. We saw this entire campaign of 2024 Lok Sabha centered on this, and to tell you the truth, there were very few BJP leaders who spoke about the BJP changing the constitution. Lallu Singh from Ayodhya, for that matter, Jyoti Mirta, and these people lost elections. Why did your party insist, why did the Congress party insist so much on a narrative in which none of the BJP leaders, the top leadership, did not really come out and say that the reservation policy was in danger?
Right, Tehseen?
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't get the question. I didn't understand. What was the question that you were trying to ask me?
I'm trying to ask you this whole narrative about the Congress party saying that the BJP is anti-constitution, anti-reservation policy. Today, the Prime Minister has said that the Congress party is trying to mislead the people of the country, especially Dalits. Why did your party insist on that narrative so much, even after elections? Because even in the Parliament session, that was the center of all activity. Do you think that the Congress party overdid its activity on that front?
No, I don't think the Congress party overdid. As an analyst, what I see it, I think that the Constitution at all times needs to be safeguarded and protected. And I think it is extremely important to fundamentally understand that the Constitution or the basic structure of the Constitution must be protected. When we have no less than the chairperson of the Rajya Sabha, the Honorable Vice President of India, speak about the basic structure of the Constitution, or the ex-Chief Justice of India, who is now a nominated member of the Rajya Sabha, speak about the basic structure of the Constitution, and the Vice President and Chairperson of Rajya Sabha saying the Parliament is supreme to the judiciary, which is not true. The Constitution is supreme. I think there is legitimate fear. Also, with regards to the question of what are the rights to the minorities, let me just put this out. Let your viewers Google any state. Let's take the state of Uttar Pradesh right now. Let's take any other state. How many of our fellow citizens who are Dalits today are vice chancellors of central universities, of state universities? How many chief justices in all the high courts today are Dalits? How many police commissioners or SPs of districts are Dalits today? Let's take the state of Uttar Pradesh for that matter. How many chief justices in India of the Supreme Court have been Dalits? Why is there not proportionate representation as per their numbers? If they are merited enough to be judges of the Supreme Court or judges of the high courts or professors in universities, why don't they cross that last ceiling? Why does that not happen?
Sure.
I think that's a very important conversation we need to have.
Let me
extend that
Guru
further,
Prakash
one line more.
Yeah, I
Wes,
also
one
wanted to
line more.
ask about what the Prime Minister specifically said about the Congress dividing people, Tehseen. What is your response to that? The Prime Minister said they're using, that the Congress is dividing society, you know, and using caste in a sense to divide society, and that is their poll plank.
If you look at if you look at any speech made by any of the Congress leaders, including Shri Rahul Gandhi ji, what they're speaking about, again as an analyst, the way I see it, is what they're speaking about is a caste census. And since Guru Prakash Bhai has joined the show, can the BJP say that they are against a caste census? If they are not against a caste census, I'm not talking about a caste survey that was done in states. I'm talking about a caste census. The caste census was done in 2011. It was decided unanimously it would be released post 2014 elections. Repeatedly, Arun Jaitley ji and Rajnath Singh ji said on the floor of Parliament and Amit Shah ji, this should be released. The data is with the central government. Release the caste census. Why aren't you releasing it? And when will the next caste census be held in 2020? One that was supposed to be held. Those are fundamental questions the BJP runs away from. The Congress is asking for the caste census data. Why is that not being released?
Okay, as Tehseen says, there are so many vacancies. We know about that, especially in the states of UP. If there are so many vacancies, is that also a reflection on the reservation policy? Is there something that's not working right? You know, why are there so many vacancies? Why are so many positions not being filled?
Oh, Vasudha, my friend Tehseen here is an expert in beating around the bush. He has brought so many issues, and let me just respond to him structurally. He spoke about the comment made by the Vice President. I would like to remind him, Chief Election Commissioner Naveen Chawla, he used to call himself मैं इंदिरा गांधी का तीसरा बेटा हूँ. Still you made him the Chief Election Commissioner, Tehseen. Where was your morality back then? Where was your constitution argument back then? So please don't have this moral high ground when you come to debates like this. Point number 2, you spoke about the representation of Dalits. For the first time in the history, Vasudha, for the first time in the history of this country, we have a Adivasi ki beti sitting at the highest constitutional office in India. For the first time after Baba Saheb Ambedkar, we have a Dalit reaching the office of the Law Minister. For the first time, we have Mr. Brijlal, who is the chairperson of the very important committee of Parliamentary Standing Committee on Home Affairs. For the first time, we see Padma Shri Ilayya Raja reaching the upper house after 1952. I can give you 10 other examples. For the first time in Uttar Pradesh, we have 3 Dalit women as cabinet minister. So when it comes to Congress party and Congress party, I'm happy. 10 seconds.
And recounting various incidents in history.
And then Guru Rahul Gandhi also put out a picture, the Halwa picture, in which he pointed out that most of the bureaucrats were upper caste. So this is a systemic problem, and you understand this better than anybody else. You know, this is a problem. This is a problem of the society, and you know, all of us have to sort of political parties have to work together. They're saying, you know, Rahul Gandhi has spoken so much about caste census. It is not really reflected in any of the decisions that the Congress party has taken with respect to state units. For that matter, you know, mobilizing somebody like Hudas. These are all feudal castes. Can't the Congress party walk the talk when it comes to representation?
Yes, go ahead.
How much time are you going to give him, Vasudha?
So
he has had all the time. Can I expect some time?
Okay, quickly, Guru.
Is that question for me or for Guru Prakash Bhai? Because
no. This is
can I quickly answer that, because I thought that was a question.
Okay, please.
No. This is not how. No. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Madam Neerja Chaudhary is sitting right here.
The discussion is getting diverted is why, because we want to focus on this point that the Prime Minister made. And yes, we're asking Tehseen about, as a political analyst, why isn't the Congress walking the talk?
May I answer the question that was asked?
Yes, Tehseen, go ahead.
Can I get the time to... You gave Tehseen so much time. He has made so many allegations.
Thank you. Quickly, let me just answer that.
Expect some time to legitimately respond to him.
Okay, Guru, please go on.
He has made so many accusations.
Okay, let Guruji please respond. I'll respond after that. Please, Guru Prakash ji, please respond.
Please respond.
No, you have to understand. You have to understand. Madam Neerja Chaudhary is sitting in this panel, and she has come out with this book where it has been observed. It was Indira Gandhi who said कि बाबू जगजीवन राम इस देश के प्रधानमंत्री नहीं बनने चाहिए. बाबू जगजीवन राम out of pain and agony said कि एक दलित इस देश का प्रधानमंत्री नहीं बन सकता है. And Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru in 1961, he writes a letter to all the chief minister. I oppose reservation of any kind. Reservation produces second-class citizen. Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, a Congress Prime Minister in 1990, opposes the recommendation of Mandal Commission on the floor of the House. So this is beyond my comprehension. Congress party has systematically, historically, structurally opposed reservation policies. And come the reservation.
All right, so Vasudha is asking that question to Tehseen about the Congress party, that why aren't they walking the talk when it comes to when they speak about caste and, wanting the caste census, etc. and in their own work,
I'll quickly
why
answer
aren't we
that.
seeing that?
Yes.
Yeah, I've understood. I'll quickly answer that. So the Congress party was the only party that carried out the caste census in 2011. That data is with the present government. It was promised 3 times on the floor of parliament by BJP leaders saying that they will release it. They've not done it. It cannot be done.
Karnataka, you did
Caste
not release
census
it,
is a
Tehseen.
central government subject. It's not a subject between. Look, there's a lot of delay. My audio is not good. If people keep interrupting me, your viewers won't hear my point of view. If I may please have my say, I'll just
Yes,
finish. in
please
30
go ahead.
seconds.
Go ahead.
A caste census cannot be. Thank you. Caste census cannot be done by state it's not a state subject, it's not in the concurrent list, it can only be done by the union government. States cannot do a caste census. What states can do is a caste survey, which is dramatically, constitutionally, every way different from a caste census. The question simply is this. The 2011 data exists with the present government. Please don't go to Indira ji, Nehru ji or in the past. Tell us today where is that data. Release that data. Tell us when will the 2021 caste census, which now
I will
has to
respond
happen
to
in
it. Vasudha?
2026, be done and released. Tell the people of NDTV that. That's one. Number two, and I'll end here. The RSS as an organization has never had an SC or an OBC fellow citizen as its head. Guru Prakash Paswan Bhai is one of the most erudite BJP spokespersons and one of the most amazing human beings. But he will never be an RSS chief because the RSS will never have somebody from the SC, ST or OBC community. When will the RSS have a Dalit chief or an OBC chief? That's the thing that the people of India should know.
Okay, Guru, on the Prime Minister's speech today, I mean, this is a renewed attempt by the Prime Minister to, ensure that at least, and Maharashtra is a place we all know political Buddhism grew, it emerged from that state. So it's critical that he's making the point at a time like this because Haryana elections are just out. Guru, there's a point that Tehseen makes with regard to, caste census and Hindutva. What do you have to say about that? Because these have been at odds with each other. Your party has not really said no to caste census, but the party has also not shown much inclination to do that.
Vasudha, when the caste survey was done in Bihar, was not Bharatiya Janata Party part of it? We were the part of the caste survey that was historic and that was done by the Bihar government. Point number one. Will you allow me to speak, Vasudha?
Okay, please.
Will you allow me to speak? You give unrestricted time to my friend Tehseen Poonawalla. I expect some time. So you have to understand. In Karnataka, you remember all the other panelists when it's my turn to speak. Let me just remind my friend Tehseen Poonawalla that your government in Karnataka has done a caste survey. Why did you not release the data? Because you fear there will be a Vokalaga resistance. You fear there will be another caste resistance. So the Congress's hypocrisy must be exposed here. Point number two, you made about RSS chief. My friend Tehseen, under the influence of RSS, the country is at a tribal chief. Madam Draupadi Murmu, under the influence of RSS, the country is at a powerful OBC Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. So whether a Dalit or an OBC becomes RSS chief or not, it is immaterial. It is irrelevant. Dalits, like I said, we seek share in representation. We seek share in power. It's not about going and eating and clicking your photo op done with a Dalit family and making drumbeats about it. Dalits have now evolved and the Congress party must realize this.
Okay, Nirja Chaudhary, do you think the Prime Minister's renewed pitch on Hindu unity, will that work in a state like Maharashtra? Because caste sentiment is also quite strong there.
I think both influences, both sentiments will work, have worked in the past, have worked very well for the BJP. And they've used a mixture of, the Hindutva as well as caste. And just now, that the Prime Minister is an OBC, an MBC within the OBC, is a thing that the BJP has been talking about much more openly of late. But what is just said by both the spokespersons, I think, what is changing, and this was evident in Haryana and has to be recognized. I suspect there was a huge backlash by the Dalits and the OBCs against fears of Jat Shahi, what the Dalits called, and hamare sar pe baith jayenge if they come back again. Now the Jats being 25%, Dalits being 21%, and them coming back to the BJP. The sentiment is, as one leader put it, we are no longer prepared to be the trash army. This they may have taken 15 years ago.
Right.
Today, they are not prepared to take it. And every party will have to get this on board. That I agree with Guru Prakash, Vishwanath Pratap Singh, who brought in Mandal for reservation for the OBCs. He used to say, Sahuliyat nahi, satta mein shirkat. And there's a difference between the two concepts.
All right,
And I think it's their place under the sun. The new place under the sun is what they're wanting. And as I say, the Congress has to take that on board, and the BJP has to take that on board. And the Prime Minister is repeatedly talking about Dalits.
All right, Dr. Milind Awad, your comments here after, this, what we've said about what the Prime Minister speaking about how that the, Dalits didn't fall for the Congress party and saying that the Congress just simply trying to divide society. So your comments on that?
I think there are occasions that how parties has used religious identity and caste identities. So Hindu identity, for instance, is larger identity. In Maharashtra, Hindu identity, OBCs are also part of Hindu identity, and Marathas also are part of Hindu identities. But in actual realization now, there is binary between Marathas and non-Marathas, which is
Okay.
OBC. Same in Haryana, there is binary between Jat and non-Jatav caste, agrarian caste and artisan caste. So this binary is actually maintained by those who are planning arithmetical management or arithmetical calculation.
Right.
So my point is that there is caste assertion as well as there is assertion of religion.
Okay.
Parties are using this assertion according to their convenience and according to whenever it's required.
So it's a dual attack on the Congress party, the Prime Minister making a renewed Hindu unity pitch in poll-bound Maharashtra, but also saying that the Congress party has hatched a conspiracy to divide Hindus on the basis of caste.
Well, that's all the time we have on the show today. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.